It's October, and for many, thoughts turn to Munich and Oktoberfest. But Munich has a darker past that's hard to ignore, especially for Jews. This is where Hitler's fascist movement first took root. It's also where the world watched in horror as Israeli athletes were murdered during the 1972 Olympics by the Black September terrorist group.
Live at this moment from ABC headquarters, just outside the Olympic Village in Munich, Arab terrorists armed with submachine guns, faces blackened, a couple of them disguised as guards or as trash men in the Olympic Village, climbed the fence, went to the headquarters of the Israeli team, and immediately killed one man.
The dreadful day of the Munich assassination and terrorism of the Israeli athletes sticks on my mind as being a rainy day. Coming home from school that day to my comfortable neighborhood is rainy. I came into the house. My grandma was in the kitchen. She was crying.
So I'm in Munich and I'm at the airport. I've got 6 hours to check it out. And it's Christmas market, and this is a very traditional German Christmas market. And I'm here to see what is going on with the Jewish community in Munich, as much as I can within 6 hours. For my husband Jeff, who's Jewish, he was very reluctant to come here because, well, we'll tell you the story as we go along.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Sujata.
Do you dream of hitting the open road?
Of the adventures and eclectic people you run across on the way? Are you waiting for the right moment, the right shot of courage?
I thought that. In 2016 I had a stroke. But then in 2022 we got married, and now we're traveling the world enjoying adventure and romance.
Landing in Munich's 4-star airport, it's hard not to be impressed by the modern side of the city. And yes, the Christmas market is in full swing. Traditional German holiday spirit is in the air. With the backdrop of the Alps, I took a train into the city. There I saw the famous City Hall and its square, its distinctive Gothic architecture, and of course, a traditional Bavarian restaurant. I couldn't resist getting a pint and participating in what Bavaria and Germany is known for: traditional Bratwursts, sauerkraut, and beer. But Munich isn't just about beer and pretzels. The city was the birthplace of the Nazi Party. When I was there, the City Museum had an exhibition on this history. After World War I, Germany was a mess. It had lost the war. The monarchy in the state was gone, hyperinflation soared, and people were desperate. It was in this environment of political chaos and confusing new political ideologies, fascism and communism, that Hitler and the Nazi Party took root, fueled by conservative forces in Munich. The museum here shows how Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, which later becomes the Nazi Party. Helped by a wealthy Munich publisher and the Munich elite, it was here that he learned the ropes. In 1923, he staged his first coup attempt, the Beer Hall Putsch, right here in Munich. Thankfully, it failed. This is where the putsch took place. Now, it's a cultural center. The Socialist Party tries to warn people, but Hitler hits back with a campaign against communists and Bolsheviks. Then comes the anti-Semitic campaigns, boycotts of Jewish businesses. In April 1938, Hitler orders the destruction of Munich's largest synagogue. That November is Kristallnacht, the plundering and destruction of Jewish businesses, and then the horrors of the Holocaust. Dachau, the first concentration camp, is not far from here. Many Munich Jews were deported to Auschwitz.
Premierminister Chamberlain konnte den Dank vieler Münchner, die ihn zum Flugplatz begleiteten, entgegennehmen.
Munich is also the site of the Munich Agreement, where British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain agrees to let Hitler grab Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia for peace with Germany. It failed. I visited the Jewish Museum in Munich. Today, their installation dealt with the displaced people in Munich. After the war, survivors from the camps created their own newspapers in Yiddish, Hebrew, and other European languages. They even had a university here. However, World War II did not end the suffering of Munich Jews. The 1972 Munich Olympics brought more anxiety and pain.
So this was an Olympics which was supposed to be to bring, Germany's back. This is supposed to be a great event. Unfortunately, it was also the event that happened right over here, where a bunch of terrorists actually came and kidnapped the members of the Israeli team. And in the end, 11 people died here.
If my grandmother was crying about anything Jewish, I knew it was a dark day. The dreadful day of the Munich assassination and terrorism of the Israeli athletes sticks on my mind as being a rainy day. Coming home from school that day to my comfortable neighborhood, it was rainy, and I came into the house. My grandma was in the kitchen, and she was crying.
Imagine my surprise traveling through Germany 50 years later. There's another attempted attack at the Israeli consulate in Munich.
But when I heard of what had transpired at the embassy, actually at the consulate in Munich that day, I knew that there were still unresolved issues, but not only in Germany, in Europe in general.
The far right has won a state election for the first time in post-World War II Germany, now celebrating a historic win following regional elections in the east of the country.
With the new right-wing anti-immigrant parties conquering German states, it seems that hatred didn't die with World War II. To me, there are too many disturbing parallels with what happened before World War II and what is happening now, not just in Germany, but all over the Western world. Despite everything, Munich's Jewish community has rebuilt itself. Here is St. Jakobsplatz, the center of Munich Jewish life, complete with museums, community centers, and Jewish institutions. In 2004, they rebuilt the Ohel Jakob Synagogue here, using the same name of the synagogue in 1938. Even the Conference of European Rabbis just moved its headquarters from London to Munich.
Given the dark history of this place, you'd be forgiven for thinking, why would people move back here? But it is a story of resilience, because this is the second largest Jewish community in Germany. And while there were over 100,000 Jews during World War II, there is a much smaller community, about 9,000 Jews here in Munich. However, Germany has made many efforts to return Jews to Germany, and there's a certain renaissance happening in a way of people coming back and rebuilding the community, not what it was before, but rebuilding it to some extent.
Today, tens of thousands of Jews from all over the world are finding their way back to where their parents and grandparents came from, Germany. Some are from families of Holocaust victims. And there's a new generation that's carried on the traditions. The youth group Neshama leads tours of Munich Jewish life. They also have a show called Eurovision, inspired by Eurovision, where Jewish youth compete in a talent show. There's even a Maccabi sports club that hosts Hanukkah on ice.
Things have changed because also in some work that I've done, I've seen that the government of Germany for many years already, for decades, has tried to put a major emphasis on Holocaust education and reduction of anti-Jewish behavior. So I'm very encouraged by that and by certain organizations who operate in Germany, both in the Jewish and the non-Jewish sides, that try to curtail anti-Semitism.
It's not without its problems, as anti-Semitism and attacks on synagogues have also been part of recent German history. It's incredible to think that just a few decades ago, this place was the heart of a movement that tried to erase Jewish existence. Now, the community is rebuilding, smaller, yes, but determined. But for many Jews, it's still painful and complicated.
Okay, the idea of Jewish people living in Germany today is a bit of a generational issue. And it's very diverse in terms of how people approach that question. For my family and me, Europe was viewed maybe erroneously, actually maybe not erroneously, as a very dark and complicated place where bad things happened. That was definitely my family experience. So there wouldn't have been a great encouragement for me or people of my generation to move and live in Germany. However, I was anxious to see Germany. I would like to go there and see more of it, but at this point I still would not like to live there.
So while my short stopover in Munich has been full of history and reflection, I can't deny that this city is also a place of renewal. The Christmas market here at the airport is bustling. Food, drinks, rides, music, skating rinks, you name it. In a city that's seen so much darkness, it's heartening to see a celebration of life.
It's quite a rocking airport, and I'm having a blue eye. And
The thrill of the road does not end with a stroke. Come travel with us.
Please subscribe to our channel, Fierce Travel, and ring the bell for more notifications.
So do it. If you'd like to try this trip, see our recommendations. Take a look at our link below.